Let's go fishing. Let's go fishing. It would be a good day. Sun's out. Wouldn't be a bad day for fishing, but instead, what I'd like to do is ask you to turn. There's a hymn that tells the story of the Scripture. You'll find it on 344. Would you turn there with me? We're going to sing a couple verses, and then I'm going to talk a little while. We'll sing something else, and I'll talk a little while longer, and then we'll go home and cook everything we're going to cook, so we'll be ready for that ball game. Lovely little hymn. We'll sing 2 verses.
344. 344. Please stand.
Several fishermen that are there, but he goes to Peter and James and John and says, "Can you let me borrow your boat?" And they push out into the shallow water just off the shore so that the people can hear. More and more people come to the shore to hear the words of Jesus. I want to talk about authority. The authority of Jesus. What drew people to hear his preaching? They said he preached as one with authority, one who knew the Scriptures, one who taught as a rabbi, well-schooled and well-educated and well-thought, one who taught with authority. And they came all the way down to the edge of the water to hear every word. He preaches for a while and he turns to Peter and says, "Take me out into the deep water. Let's go fishing." What authority did Jesus have to say, "Let's go fishing"? He didn't pay for a charter. Peter should have said, "We've been at this all night. I got to go home and finish putting stuff away and get some sleep so I can come back and fish tonight." What authority moved Peter's heart that his own agenda suddenly evaporated, just went away? He gets out into the middle of the lake, way out in the middle. Now, fishermen in that time were afraid of the deep water. They stayed in the shallows. They stayed where they could see the land. But Jesus says, "Put out into the deep." They didn't fish out there. It was unknown. Storms would come out. The water was the source of mystery. In the Old Testament, the Leviathan, the dragon, the water monster, would come up out of the water. So fishermen with little wooden boats and little hemp nets stayed close to the shore. Jesus says, "Put out to the deep." What authority did Jesus have to say, "Put out into the unknown"? They get out in the middle of the lake. And Jesus says, "Put your nets down on the other side." See, Peter was saying, "We fished out here, sort of, kind of, but there ain't nothing out here." Been here, done this, we're done. And Jesus says, just let your nets down on the other side. Now, what difference did one side of the boat make from another? That doesn't make any sense to me. You've seen the cartoon where people are fishing off both sides of the boat and the hooks get caught? You know, it's all the same. It's all the same. But the authority of Jesus says, put your nets down on the other side. What is the authority for Jesus to speak to us now? Does Jesus still have a voice of authority to tell us how to live our lives? Who is Jesus to know what our relationships are, what our vocation? What's Jesus got to do with what you're going to do Monday morning? What is the authority of Jesus to speak to you in your life, in your place, in your time today? That's up to you. I believe that if we are Christians, I believe that if you are responding to Jesus' authority as a disciple, Jesus has every authority to tell us how to live. And how will we know that authority? By reading the Word of Jesus and reading these Scriptures. This is the only authority we have. Now, am I an authority? Probably not. You know, they say if you're a consultant, if you have a briefcase and you travel 50 miles, you're an authority on something new. You know, as long as you're, from somewhere else, you're an authority. We play that game sometimes in consultant and vocational things, but let me share with you. I gave this some thought. What is my authority as the leader, pastor? My authority among you is to love you as best I can as Jesus has loved you. My authority is to care for your spiritual lives and to push you off on the deep end and say,